inspired by black soap from Africa. I dried plantains and I roasted cocoa beans and I ground them all up. We're going to be adding that to our mix. I'm also going to be using a hot process stick blender method, which is, there's about 10 different ways of doing it I've seen on the internet, and they're all amazing. And this using lactic acid makes it more fluid. I don't have sodium lactate, but I am going to be using yogurt in mine and a higher water discount. That's, I think, is one of the key things. I'm going to be playing with this for a while, so we'll see different ways of doing it. And today's recipe has honey in it as well. My Ode to Africa soap actually has pieces of this soap in there, which is super cool. It's kind of a softer soap, but it's amazing on the skin and so good for you. And to kind of, you know, bring all the beautiful things of Africa into my soap, I'm adding mica lines of diamond sparkle and gold. I'm also going to be drizzling the top with sort of wonderful things. I've got a great design in my brain. Let's see if I can make it happen. So come on with me while we create something beautiful. This is no fragrance oils in this one. I will be using some essential oils of lavender from Africa, South Africa, and some orange oil. So yeah, let's go make some black soap of Africa inspired soap. All right, so there we go. I don't think I've ever shown you my lye measuring cup. Isn't that cool? Woohoo, woohoo. And this is how I measure my lye. I haven't opened up anything yet, so be careful, guys. All right, now that I've given you the super be careful with lye lecture, we're going to measure out my 2,300 gram batch, 320 grams of lye. Should we help if we're in the grams? 320. 250. A little over, so we'll go back. 300, 305, 320, let's just double check, 320, 320, measure twice, cut once. That's what we do with soap too. So that's how you measure your lye in your skull cup. Alright, now as I mentioned before, we're doing hot process liquid soap. No, hot process fluid soap. Liquid soap would be liquid. We want solid soap. So I'm going to measure out my liquid, and we're going to, I'm using Valerie Mosher's method here out of Nova Scotia. She's a wonderful lady. If you want to see how this is done, she makes the most beautiful soap, guys. And gave me some tips on making mine better. I've made a hot process for years and never really been happy with it. I might just be converted to do it more often. So, alrighty, so I'm going to measure out 639 grams of water. Let me just go get my distilled water. Hold on. Alright, so let's measure out our liquid. So I'm just going to turn it on. 0, so we need 639 or 640 grams of water. Now I'm used to using a little less water, but we're also going to be adding even more water. This is a fluid hot process soap, and it requires more liquid. And the percentage that that Valerie uses and I'm going to use today is 38%. So the rest of my liquid is going to come from a few other sources, such as honey and yogurt Yeah, so here's our water, and here's the light, and I'll add those actually at a later date, a later time when we're starting to cool down a little bit to keep it fluid. So let me just get my mixer. Alrighty, so you're gonna add your lye to your water. I know I've stated it differently before. Never add it the other way. I've never had anything super bad happen, but I've been told that it can. Let's see. Let's test fate. No, nothing bad happened. All right, now keep in mind this is very hot. Both of them are. They're about 170 degrees. And go ahead and mix. And it takes about 10 minutes of stick blending, but we're just going to watch it because I am at sea level. We'll see if that makes any difference at all. Just watch and learn with me. pouring time. I'm just going to cover this with plastic wrap and bring it up to the Vaseline stage while it'll go through. For those of you who have done on the stove hot process method, it goes through a potatoes, mashed potato stage, and then the Vaseline eventually. And then it gets so hard to work with, you're like piling like mad just to get it in there. Commercial soap makers for, golly, 200 years have been using the hot process method using lactic acid. They've known since the pioneer days that a little bit of milk product will react with the soap and give you a little more time to pour it so that you have a nice looking product. It's just one of those highly guarded secrets that have been out there that people are finally willing to share. And now that we have the internet, more home soap makers who also know that are able to share some of their family recipes, and I am so grateful to all of them who have, because that's just nice. Reinventing the wheel is never a fun endeavor. You feel like you've done something neat, and then yeah, you just did something somebody else did. I think it was, I am so fond of quoting this, and I apologize if you heard it before, but I think it was Plato who said there's no such thing as an original thought. Everything is, and you think about it, it's true. Even though there have been great advances in technology, everyone builds on everybody else's ideas. Nothing comes from nothing. Oh, we're going to need to change that. I don't want that out there. Everything has a basis in natural laws, in structured thought, and since the dawn of man, we've been doing this, and it's wonderful that we can share and build so quickly on one another's. I think that's probably why our society is. Now, you can't walk away from this, is advancing so much. I'm sorry, I do that all the time. I'll leave you hanging with a phrase. So you can't leave it, because all of a sudden it'll do its thing. And you'll have a volcano all over everything. So that's what we're waiting for. We're going to wait for, oh golly, 5 minutes for it to volcano and hit Vaseline. So we're just waiting for that. And I'm going to fast forward it now. Do you see that bubble? There was one bubble. Do you see it's kind of rising? It's kind of got a, it's rising like dough. We're just going to let it do that. And when it gets too high, oh wow, I hope I can find that Africa soap. Oh, it's rising. Oh guys, check it. Can you see it rise? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, look at that. We are at the Vaseline stage. Now I'm going to let it come up fairly high before I pull it off. Okay. I'm going to just mix that all down. We have hit Vaseline and now we have soap. I'm just going to go ahead and mix that down. Do you know how hard this is to do on the stovetop? Oh my gosh. So now the soap has been neutralized. Well, it's at about a 10. I'm going to test it in a minute. Oh my goodness, look at that. Alrighty. So everything you add to it at this point needs to be warm, because you don't want the temperature to go down, because you want to maintain fluidity. Now, it's not going to stay fluid on its own. This is what you get when you have hot processed soap on the stovetop. It's this mashed potatoes texture. We're going to do this again just to make sure. Now, and that's why it looks so rustic when people make soap that way. Why it's almost looks like oatmeal is what it reminds me of. No matter how pretty they try to swirl it, it just looks not so great. So it's rising again. I think. Yeah, it's rising again. So we've got a little bit of separation. That's fine. We're going to blend it one more time. All right, we've got 3 minutes. While I look around for my black Africa soap. It's in my new stuff. I'll keep my eye, one eye over there, one eye over here. African black soap. And I'm not sure why they call it that, because it's brown. But it's the ashes from plantains and cocoa, and just like every soap maker here on YouTube has a different recipe or a different way of making soap. They do it in Africa too, with their different natural soaps that they have there, working with their natural resources there. And that's the theme for this soap. Not so much it's Black African soap inspired, but it's also Africa in general, with the rich resources that they are so blessed with. Yeah, so I've got Aztec Gold Mica. We're going to do some mica lines. I've got a Diamond Super Sparkle that we're going to do as a mica line. Here it's coming up again. Look at that. It's rising. Africa rising. Now, I don't know much about the political situation over there. I just know that it's harsh in places. And all I know is what I'm told in the media. But what I know about it, from my studies, the country itself, it is probably one of the richest natural resources in the entire world. And that's kind of what I want to convey with this soap, this beautiful soap. I actually got plantains from the grocery store, and I let them get nice and ripe, chopped them up, and I blended them, and I dried them with whole cacao beans, and then I roasted them. There we go. This is nothing to worry about, guys. This is perfectly okay. Look at that. I'm going to let it come right up. We need it to go through this stage. So yeah, I'm hoping that I can make it fluid enough so that I can make a really pretty soap. I'm going to try to do 2 different soap. The most important one will be the African, awesome African theme soap. Okay. So I'm going to pull it off again, stir it down. Get that gel phase. You know, I think I could do this if I can keep from burning myself. I love the fact that when I'm done with this soap, in the morning when I cut it, I can sell it. I can put it right on my site. I don't have to wait or pre-sell it or anything else. As long as I'm able to do all the same artistic things with it. And everything I've seen, you can. Elements of Eternity even whipped it up and piped it. So I'm planning on trying to do those things too. Alrighty, this looks good. This looks really good. So there we have soap, guys. I'm toying with the idea of an unscented soap for Africa, the African blend. But I don't know, I think something natural and beautiful might be good too. Not sure. I have some essential oil of chocolate and coffee that I could throw in. I'm not sure I want to do that. I'm just going to do a little quick stick blend because there's a little separation there. This could be a bad thing, could be a good thing. Sugar also reacts with the soap to relax it. Just make sure we have a complete. Look at that. That's soap, guys. Like, as soon as I test it with my pH-o-meter. Safe, where are you? Let's see. I'm just going to put a little bit on the dish. It's probably not quite, no, it's not quite ready. Yeah, I'm not going to be touching that with my hands quite yet. nearly there. Some people do a zap test. No. No, says I. Cover it one more time, see if it needs it, and then we'll start adding our, as I like to call them, the relaxers. Okay. Let me grab those things out now. All right. So we've got some honey. And we've got some yogurt. And they're warm. Everything is warm. This is my, yeah, it's still doing a little bit of its gelling thing. I'll go ahead and let it finish completely. Take it slow and take it easy. Beautiful, beautiful soap. You see, you can't really swirl this. This is too thick for swirling. Way, way too thick for swirling. All right, so let's see if we can make it fluid. So I'm going to add my almost 200 grams of yogurt. Now I'm not using lactic acid this time because I just want to show you that it can be done without it. Here's the honey. Now you don't want it to cook the yogurt. It is going to heat up a little bit with that sugar. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? This is going to be a gorgeous soap. I don't think I'm going to need much colorant. I'm just going to go with the natural. Alright, that's much better than it was. Alright, that's going to be gorgeous. Fluid. And nice, but as you can see, it dries out on the top, and so you don't want to put it in a cold container or it's just going to seize up and become hard. So it's kind of like taffy candy. It's fluid but not. All right, so I'm going to transfer this to my crock pot, which is hot, and yeah, so hold on. All right, so I'm going to add the rest of my ingredients. This is the plantains and the cocoa that's been roasted. And then sweet potato stew. I just kept thinking about yams and sweet potato stew. So I did I ground some yams up too, so we're going to put some yams in there too. It's all dried up. So I'm going to do this half with charcoal and half this natural color. So we're going to do kind of a swirl, just to show you that you can do fluid swirls with this soap. And if it starts to get too hot, just add a little bit of hot water. There's got lots of hot water here. Just a teaspoon or so will do. Yeah. And we'll get those mica lines. Let me just go pick my fragrance. It smells wonderful, but it just has this wonderful, almost taffy texture and smell. Let me go see what I've got. Hold on. Alrighty, I didn't really want to fragrance this much, but I think I'm going to use some of those more ephemeral, fleeting essential oils in this one, just to give it some. So I'm going to put some orange, and then I also have lavender from South Africa. So we're going to put a little bit of lavender and orange, and these two are really quite nice together. So it's not going to be so florally or overpoweringly lavender scented. Fingernails. Let's try this. I really should put these in the glass bottles, but I've just been lazy. Very much at all, just a little bit. I'm going to add some more of the orange. Isn't enough orange for me. Orange doesn't last long at all, no matter how much you put in there. I've got a Satsuma. I've got a fun project that I've been working on that we can do, and that'll also add a little fluidity, a lot of fluidity. I'm always afraid of adding too much fragrance oil. The fragrance oil will also affect the soap. So if I need to, I may need to. I should have heated that up. That's what I did wrong. Sorry, guys. I may have screwed it up and lowered the temperature too much. Normally I have that measured out, like I could do the rest, but I didn't think, because I hadn't planned on. Oh, I like it though. I like it a lot. Alright, so I'm going to cover this up, and hopefully it's not going to completely finish up on me, or I'll have to add some more water. Some very hot water. Let's get that water heating up again. Just add an ounce or so. Okay, I'll get my mold, put a few of these things away so we can start with the design. Some charcoal in. I want a really nice contrast. I love activated charcoal. Love it. Nice. That much. See what it does. Half of it. Transfer about half. This other hot container. And since this one isn't very pourable, I've got another hot container. Oh, that's pretty. Do this a layer at a time, since I'm going to do mica lines. So the bottom, first layer is going to be black. this is activated charcoal, I'm going to give it the White Diamond Sparkle mica line. I had so much of this. Oh, it's the best stuff ever. Isn't that pretty? So that should give us a nice the next layer. Let's turn that off. I'm going to tamp, oops, not tamp yet. That down, and we'll do the gold layer next to the teas. Now, if I have enough left, I'm going to actually pipe the top. So we will just whip it up and pipe the top. Making this extra thick. I should probably have made it a little thinner by using this. I'm going to tamp it down again. Gold. All right, I'm going to fill it to there, to the top, and then hopefully, if I don't have enough there, I've got more in the other pot. We're going to whip it up. Okay, we're going to tamp that down, and I'm going to whip this up. Let's cover it up so it doesn't dry. I hope that heavy mica line doesn't make a separation. It's always a concern with mica lines with me anyway. I don't know if anybody's actually had that problem, but I still worry about it. Okay, so I'm just going to set this aside. Up. The curl slipped out. That wasn't the right beater. need to add a little more. Over here. It's like Tafi. It's so thin. I think I need a wee bit more. See how well this pipes. I'm ready to pipe this hot process liquid soap. I did have to add a little bit of water, which is fine. I'm going to try this tip first. I'm just going to cover this up because I know I'm going to need it all. Hopefully it won't harden up on me. I'm going to put this in the oven. I'm getting cold. It's actually not very hot right now. See that? Are a little lumps though, because it is. It is cooling down, so I gotta work a little faster than I do with the other process. Isn't that pretty though? Gorgeous African soap inspired soap. Sweet potatoes. Sorts of wonderful stuff. Just fill up my bag again. Hopefully I'll be able to do that. Might be a little cloggy at the top. So nice. I'm going to take all the leftovers and have a bath with it tonight. Test it out. All the stuff that I can scrape off the sides. It's not going to look very pretty, probably. Maybe I could press it into my molds. Okay, let's see if I can get the rest of this to pipe. Oh, hopefully I didn't break my bag. I keep breaking my bags lately. Now that's going to have a little bit of, yeah. Should be smooth sailing from here on out. a little unpredictable, the pipe. It's fast and then it's slow. And I'm going to go one more on the top of each little doohickey, and then my bars will be the same size as they normally are. So a nice high top. We'll add a little more where we got a little more to go. You can get it out of there. Even it out a little bit. I don't like how that peak looks. That's better. And there we go. And I'm going to do some drizzles. So I'll just get that ready. We'll finish this off. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is put this nice thick coppery gold, Aztec gold is what it is called actually, from I need a little more olive oil. So I'm going to drizzle this on. And then I've got some actual soap from Africa, black soap from Africa, that I'm going to use in lieu of embeds. And because this stuck set up so quickly, I'm going to kind of glue them on with here's my black Africa soap, and I got this in from, I don't know, someplace in Ontario. Oh, Sapphire Blue. So, show you what this looks like. It's actually quite a soft soap and a crumbly soap. So that's going to make, I'll just break off little pieces like that and stick them very carefully to each bar. So I'll show you how that's going to look. So I'll just do that. And I know it doesn't look real great, but I think it's awesome. Actually, I think it looks pretty awesome. I'm just going to do them in weird shapes, because that's how you get it. I mean, why not just, you know, be authentic? And that's what I'm going to try to do. Blend my style with the African style, and come back with, so we're each going to be a 1-inch bar, so I want to make sure my bar gets a nice lump. But yeah, it's really, really soft soap. Put them in decorative chunks. That. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's about 11 bars. 10. 11. Right. Now we're going to do the whole thing in Diamond Sparkle. Bit of spray, and I don't think it needs anything more. It's kind of this is a rustic one for me. It's a nice rustic sparkly soap. Rustic for me anyway. Could take some of the sweet potato and sprinkle it on the top. Ooh, that's pretty. wee bits of sweet potato. So there we go. I had some bigger pieces of the plantain. Do I still have those? No. We're ready to cut the Ode to Africa soap. All right, so let's talk about this soap again. I'm not sure if this is going to be tall enough or if it's going to be too tall. Let's see what happens. Okay, so we got a small slicer. Oh my goodness, look at the mica line just on the little card slice size. That is so pretty. Hopefully that's not going to be a... Just going to move it over just a titch and grab my cloth. Okay. Kind of holding my breath, guys, because this is beautiful soap. Oh my goodness, look at that. The top. I'm already using this soap and it is absolutely amazing in the bath. We've got this activated charcoal down here with the diamond mica line and then gold mica line with the plantains and all the wonderful stuff we put into that soap. Cocoa beans. I actually managed to find whole cocoa beans. Now, if you're going to make this soap, make sure you sift your dried ingredients. I had to make them by hand. I couldn't just buy them online ready to go all. I'm just going to support that. Oh my goodness. This is probably one of the prettiest, well, the prettiest hot process soap I've ever made. Look at that. Pretty sparkly, big chunks of authentic African black soap. Put these where you can see them. Where can I put them? No. There we go. Now, it's not as soft as the soap that I got that was actually from Africa, which I'm happy about because I like a certain texture in my soap. I will definitely make this again, and the lavender with the orange is perfect for this color. I even like the sides. Like it's just a gorgeous, gorgeous bar soap. So I do have some sodium lactate coming in the mail, and I will be playing with that with some of my future batches of soap because I really like what that reaction does to the soap, and I really like being able to use it right away. If I don't have to, of course it's going to be a little soft, so I'll have to, as it dries it'll get even harder, but even just 24 hours later and it's a lot harder than it was. The soap that I'm using in my bath is actually harder today than it was yesterday, and it's harder than this soap. There's something that happens to soap when it gets wet and then it dries again. I don't know if anybody else has experienced this with their new soap, but it actually, I think it's the glycerin, maybe. Something happens anyway, and it just makes it rock hard. If it was a little soft before, suddenly it's super rock hard. Get those beautiful sparkly mica lines. Got them on both. I just can't believe that. That's awesome. These are just so beautiful. I'm going to have so much fun taking pictures from my Etsy shop. These will be in the Etsy shop right away. So if you're wanting a special something something for the holidays, or you've got a gift that you need and you want something very special. I actually use this soap on my face. And I have very, very sensitive skin, if you can't tell. Light, really, really light skin people that freckle tend to have very sensitive skin, and I'm no exception. And this didn't bother me at all. In fact, I absolutely adore whatever that plantain does, and the charcoal and all the wonderful ingredients in this combined with the hot process just really have my skin so happy. It's just, isn't that gorgeous? So this is my rustic soap. I hope you enjoyed watching me make it, and if you're coming to just the cutting because you're in my shop, this is kind of a fun thing to watch, isn't it? How it's made is just fun. Look at that. It's just beautiful, and it's nice and hard. It's not too hard, or I'd be having trouble cutting it, but it's just the most gorgeous soap. I am very, very pleased. Very, very pleased. And like all of my soap, I'm going to have 2 soap cards from this one. So if you want one of the soaps of the month, I do have a couple available. And the very last one. Could that look like a gold nugget? So, Ode to Africa soap. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the cut. And come on back soon. So click subscribe if you want to see what we're up to in my soapy kitchen. And hopefully we'll see you back soon. All right, bye for now.